Hello, Drag Race fans. We are getting ready to discuss Season 10, Episode 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we are going to discuss Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie, as well as various other topics. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello! I am your host, 123 Jackie B. I have Ollie with me. Hey. I have Ronnie with me. And you guys, they are going to become permanent panelists.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening now.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you guys are here. We're here on this Easter Sunday eating Easter eggs and dressing like bunnies.
I'm very happy.
So,
very
we're Passover weekend.
I love your Vanjie intro, though. I'm still,
Thank you.
That was all
She
of
was
the
practicing.
things.
She did it. It was...
I practiced in the mirror at home.
Oh, gotcha.
No, I didn't.
All right. The champagne does help, though, I suppose.
It does.
Yeah,
does.
baby.
So what were your first thoughts on this episode?
I think it's kind of like, I don't know if I like early episodes in a season because there's just so many
too many
queens.
queens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they do the Rusical, which we'll talk about, and I just generally don't like the Rusical ever.
Really?
I never like it personally.
I don't know if I ever like it just across the board, but I liked it this time. I was good for it. And as far as it being a newer episode, the only challenge is it's just so many damn people.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep track. And then it's hard to keep track because social media is telling you Vanjie this, Vanjie that.
Yeah.
And I think Aja did a sit down with the queens. It's just so much content is coming in that it's borderline overwhelming. So.
Yeah, it is getting a little overwhelming with
In a
the
good
content.
way, though. Yeah.
I do agree with that. I like that though, because then if you have a queen that you're really into, you can then go and search out that content and really find out more about that queen, which is exciting. I'm usually a fan of the musicals, and this one I didn't get it as much. I don't know. I don't find infomercials on medicines funny necessarily.
But it did speak to, like, I don't know, it spoke to classic, like Ru, when you listen to What's the Tea, the podcast, which I try to listen to as much as I can, he always tries to hit you with that, is there an anal option? Like, that's just...
That was funny.
And I felt like it was, in my head, I was assuming what they were trying to do was take a whole concept, which is, classic Ru, and really just expand it to something. And some of them, to me, were really funny, which we'll get into a little bit later. But,
yes.
But
so they talked first about Miss Vanjie's exit, which is becoming iconic.
Yeah.
And there are a whole bunch of memes out there about it. And people are comparing her to Shangela in her first season, saying that like she's going to have that sort of fame
Redemption.
and notoriety and redemption.
And
that
by the way,
Shangela
should they
had.
not do a Shanji Vanjie World of Wonder show?
Yes!
I mean, can we all, can the chat agree that a Shanji Vanjie would be all of, oh man.
Yes,
yeah.
you heard it here first.
I mean, it's probably already being shot, yeah. Shanji and Vanjie would be everything you need. Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it. My favorite one, though, I didn't see any Beetlejuice ones, which I was expecting because of the 3-name thing. I'm a little bummed about that internet.
Yeah.
So make that happen.
Step it up, me.
God.
Step it up, Mimi.
So-
Is it a Mimi? No, it's a meme, girl. It's a meme. Come on.
I can't believe she didn't know what that was.
Yeah, that's cute.
And then my favorite one was somebody took the girl singing the main
Vanjie on the board. Thought that was cool. The Miss Saigon, Miss Vanjie, of course, we saw that one. Trixie writing, I think Trixie and Tatiana both wrote something similar, like gay culture, when you walk out of a room from now on, you have to like sliver out and say Vanjie 3 times.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that's how you have to do it, though. If you're going to be the first person to leave, make it an iconic exit and make it something that people are going to talk about. So, like, we had that clip of Ru turning to Michelle and saying, well, what did she say her name was? And then Michelle doing the Miss Vanjie 3 times, and nobody's going to forget that. So good on you. Like, you did some branding.
And I don't think it was cliche branding, in my opinion.
No.
Like, you got to think about this. This is like basically Pork Chop 2.0 in some type of way. It's the... Like, it's the 10th season, so it's a big season, and they're now on VH1. The show isn't what it was season 1. And, as Pork Chop is so lovable because of going so early, I think Vanjie understood this is that next stage, and let me sail it to the high moons, and she did.
But, like, also, like, I really didn't expect this to be so memeable and go viral. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm wondering if she thought it was going to go viral too.
I think
'Cause
she's helping it though. I follow her on Twitter and she's like retweeting all the memes as if to encourage people. So I think that when you're game for somebody who's making a meme about you and you're encouraging it, I think that really helps.
And I think it matched because we saw in the lip sync and in the critique, right, when she was going away, she was dead faced. I think we all talked about that here. And so to have been so brokenhearted, and then to take that moment where all the girls are sad, she's in a moment, and just like own it and like get that fire inside of you and come up with that. I liked it because it read authentic. Now, it was a memeable moment and it was a soundbite, but a lot of the girls come on this show like an Aquaria and they want to do sound bites that are contrived. I think the reason we like Vanjie is because that was not contrived.
It's just her.
And that's why we love it.
Yeah.
You cannot make a meme, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't do it. You have to just live it and then it'll happen.
Yes. If you want to see some more of the memes, I have them on my Twitter account, and Isaiah Draws had sent us one. He watches our show, and his drawings are amazing. He's drawn stuff for Cosmo. And he had linked some to me as well that I retweeted. So check those out if you want to. 123 Jackie B.
123 Vanjie B.
123 Vanjie B. And now we have some information on our dear boss, Maria Menounos.
Yeah, I know, I love your gasp there.
I'm gagged.
Yeah, Ollie is already gagged. But no, here's the thing. In life, we want to learn. In fact, as far as somebody who learned this week, I actually was watching one of the lives Monet Exchange. I think she stepped into something with the Transgender Day of Visibility. And I was watching the live, and she was talking about learning, growing, how she didn't mean to, offend anyone. And I think that's great. That was something that happened recently. And when I talk about learning and growing, I think of some of the content that we have with Maria Menounos, and she has a show called Conversations with Maria Menounos. This is on SiriusXM. A lot of people love and subscribe. Those that don't, want something for free. So we decided to set that up. It's on iTunes. You could check it out every Friday, and it is free. And it's all like the best of the best. And like I said, I brought up Monet Exchange as an example because she went through something this week as far as doing something and not doing it correctly and learning and growing from the experience. So if you want a podcast that's similar to that, Maria's will have that for you. So. Yeah.
Plus, Maria, she wrote a book and she has a lot of good advice to give to people, and I think she's helpful in like a very big sisterly sort of way.
Exactly.
And everyone needs their weekly, even daily dose of motivation,
Maria,
definitely. And I would love to see her be a guest
Judge.
for Drag Race.
Guest judge on Drag Race.
Totally.
I love that.
It needs to happen. Make it happen, VH1.
Yes.
Yeah, or the people tweeting is actually how that's going to happen. So tweet two things. Tweet that you're going to watch Conversations with Maria Menounos. It's on the Sirius or the iTunes. And also tweet that, Maria Menounos for Judge RuPaul's Drag Race.
Absolutely.
Just figure it out. You know
Yeah,
if you
figure
figure
it
it
out.
out, Vanjie, you could figure out how to get Maria on the show. Okay, thanks.
So then we had the mini challenge, jumping back into the competition. And it was a cowboy challenge. Again, like, you guys know how I feel about how when the mini challenge doesn't match up at all with the main challenge, it just makes me confused.
It's like two different episodes
It's like two
mashed
different
into
things
one.
Well,
happening.
It's like, why did Andy Cohen show up for no specific reason?
Honestly,
at all?
that's a really good
I
point.
love Andy Cohen, though. It was great having him there, and it was great. I really found the mini challenge hilarious. It was something that was enjoyable and very funny to me, even more so than the main challenge. But I did wish like Andy Cohen was a guest judge or something. It left me wanting more.
Yeah, that happened with Lisa Kudrow too, when she kind of just stopped by
Yes.
that one time. I don't know if it was a challenge, but this was another meme moment. I don't know if you saw on Twitter where like they had like a screenshot of all of them, like because they got ready in like 15 minutes, and it said when gays go into the Joanne World Tour. And I was
Oh my
dying.
gosh.
So like, and that's when this was filmed. It was during like Joanne, so maybe that had some kind of influence to have some kind of country influence in the challenge.
I like the just going off the Lisa Kudrow one. I like that one because Ru has said that the hello, hello, hello comes from Valerie Cherish.
Oh, yeah, her
hello,
character
hello.
on the
So
comeback.
and I
Yeah.
did watch. Sorry, I keep saying watch. The champagne is kicking. I did listen to the What's the Tea when Lisa Kudrow was on it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And it was one of those things where she was just on the facility, on the set. So
Yeah.
maybe Andy Cohen was doing Love Connection when maybe.
Possible.
My gripe with Andy Cohen, of course, we love him and he has great programming. What I wanted to know, and maybe the chat people can help us out with this, don't you think, let's be honest, his content is very gay friendly, open, queer and women and all these great things. Why has he never had a guest from Drag Race as a guest in the seat? I don't mean putting Trixie at the bar, and actually he was sort of rude to Trixie because he asked, "Oh, shouldn't Shangela have won?" right in front of Trixie. I thought that was a little like shady, which is fine because that's what we love about Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
My question is, we have people like Bianca Del Rio who, second special,
Made her a movie.
doing all these things. Why? I'm saying if he's our guy, he's our guy. He's our proud, gay man doing really great things, producing television. Why doesn't he have one of these queens be uplifted where they get the regular seat? It's just something I've been having in my mind, and it really struck out when I saw him kind of just making an appearance here.
I think that's a fair argument. I do think it is. Do you guys have any? I mean, my main takeaway from the mini challenge was I was in such awe of what these queens could do as far as their face paint in 20 minutes. Because some of them were straight up hilarious, and some of them were darn professional looking.
Yeah.
Like when you looked at Dusty's makeup, I was like, how did you do that in 20 minutes?
And Yuha too, I think I remember correctly.
Yuha, I didn't like her reveal or whatever her gag was. She was trying to insinuate to her udder as a
I didn't even get that.
and then drink
yeah.
it. And it took a long time. I wasn't into that. What I will say, who I really loved, and I hate to just keep on saying I love Miss Cracker, but this was my reaction to Miss Cracker. I said to myself while I watched it, I said, did Miss Cracker get an extra 45 minutes? Because Miss Cracker was ready to go versus the other of them looked, a little bit like what you would look in 20 minutes.
Right.
Well, Cracker gets so much screen time to begin with, too. And I wonder if they just, literally each girl just dances for, the whole entire song. I wonder how the filming process
Oh, yeah, how
Probably,
they cut that, yeah.
And it's the same song as, I think it was one of Rue's songs. I mean, it's a way for him to promote his music as well.
course,
yeah.
So,
There's a stretch.
Did you guys agree with the winners? So it was Vixen and Asia that won. I agreed with that. To me, those were the two funniest.
How funny. I didn't get into the Vixen at all. But I loved Asia. Asia was a for sure.
Yeah.
it's so funny.
I remember
remember.
she had that little foot thing where she rotated her foot as she was shimmying across. It was like a Dita Reese kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Asia's one to watch. I in the Meet the Queens I keep referring I wasn't all the way there, but every week Asia. Oh, I'm keeping my eyes open. Vixen was funny. I won't say that it wasn't, but it was I don't know. It just was so not to the brand of what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
So it was funny in that way, but it wasn't funny in any other way. And the look wasn't good. I mean, anyways.
I'm the complete opposite. I think I figured Vixen was going to win because of the drama that happened earlier. So it's kind of a way to boost Vixen and kind of put her on this pedestal. And then Asia, I don't know if I'm here for Asia yet, honestly.
Oh, you will be.
I'm a little.
I honestly think you will be.
I liked her look this week, and we'll get into that. But I couldn't really remember her performance. But I also really liked Miss Cracker as well. I'm biased too because I love Miss Cracker.
You made a great point, though. I think, honestly, I'm not sure because Jackie said she really liked the Vixen in that challenge. But I think some people did like her. But I think also it had to do with the fact that, yes, let's make the Vixen a team leader because that is going to be something, to really mess up the
Right, it's going to
workload.
be drama. Yeah.
So she was good. I just didn't think she was winning good, but it might have been a mix of all that.
Yeah.
I do think, the Vixen, and we can discuss this later on, but I do think the Vixen's personality is a little bit grating on me. But I for what I saw, I think she fairly won that. I think it was fair.
I can remember her, what she did.
Yeah.
Some of the other girls, I do not know what they did because it was just
Right.
kind of
So we have the two different teams. Vixen's team, and this is in the order that they were picked: Cameron, Miss Cracker, Monet, Blair, and then Mayhem. And then Asia's team was Aquaria, Monique, Dusty, Yua, Calorie, and Eureka, who picked herself for the team.
Yeah.
And so that was, I think though, when that happens, whenever you're in the bottom, I do think that it throws off your mojo for the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
Because you're so in your head, you're like, why am I here? And then Eureka also having to do a dance challenge, I think all of that really, really threw her.
Mm-hmm.
It was sad for sure, and heartstrings for Eureka. I just, as somebody who really couldn't get behind the Eureka train the first go around, saw her live once. I saw her at LA Pride, and I wasn't really impressed. Just I don't know. Wasn't what I thought. When we were sitting here doing the Meet the Queens, Mark was like, oh yeah, watch out, Eureka is going to be the one. And she very may well have this big turn, where all of a sudden, that Phoenix does actually rise, per her costume. But it degraded me, not degraded me, but it got on my nerves so much with Eureka that I was like, you know what, Ronnie, I love a good complainer, because I do. I had questioned my own shit. I was like, I just over complaining. I felt like she was always crying, spilt milk. I don't know. I wasn't really that into it. Am I missing something? I didn't feel sad for her, I guess.
I think it's just hard to feel sad for her sometimes. Not that I don't like Eureka, but I think it's like sometimes we get a little bit too much of her. It's like we're oversaturated. I feel like we were so oversaturated from her from season 9, and she was gone in like the 4th or 5th episode. Yet we just see so much screen time from her. So hopefully they don't like put her to the forefront too much. But I do think she'll go decent because it's like they brought her back for a reason.
And as a
I
perspective,
really like her. I don't find her. I don't know, because you had this whole backstory where everybody was saying, "Oh, she's too talkative. I don't want her on my team," and like drama this and drama that. But like, I don't know. I didn't see, aside from her in Untucked having like a personal aside moment where she was very upset. Like, I don't see that in the workroom necessarily. So, and again, you know, these queens are interacting with them all day long, so they have a better understanding of their personality.
Yeah.
But it was just not something I personally saw coming through.
you're right. Those aside interviews must be a little different because I do have to credit to what you were saying, which was I think Vanjie took a real close liking, close sisterhood to her, and so did Calorie. So it's weird. We're seeing two different Eurekas maybe
Yes.
because the girls are like Eureka is it, and then when we're watching, we're like I said, even myself, I'm like I'm tired of the complaining. So maybe she is actually much more worthwhile. But maybe this was the episode to kick her into gear. Obviously,
And they're going to show you what they want to show you, the producers and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah.
So, I mean, perspective-wise, too, she had a choice. She didn't have to come back this season. You know, if there were things going on in her personal life, which there are some really tough things going on with her mother, which, of course, we send prayers to that situation.
Right.
But I think you have to make the right decisions. Now, showing up doesn't mean just showing up. You have to show up when you're ready. So, maybe Eureka's ready starting next episode, But
I know.
Yeah. The last
And
thing,
even, when queens come back for All Stars, and they always say, "I forget how hard it was being here," and I can't help but think to that when Eureka is finally there and back in the room and doing the competitions, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I forgot how hard this was," So there's probably a moment of that where you have to like kick yourself.
And also, I
gear.
just want to shake her and be like, you're in such a good position. You were on season 9 and you're on season 10, so you're getting all this publicity.
Right.
People are going to want to work with you and book you for clubs and bars and whatnot. And you've done all this like promotion with other like Cosmo and whatnot. And, VH1. So you're still around being relevant.
Lay
so.
down, have some good sex, and
Yeah.
just call it a day. Get your mojo up, girl. Come on,
Honestly.
Eureka. We love you, baby.
So did you guys? So Team Vixen won. Did you guys find that to be the winning team? And I have to say that I did agree with Asia when she said in Untucked that theirs was harder. It was weird to me when Blair said that, "Oh, yours is more pop." And I don't think that at all. I actually think that Asia's was like their teams had some more like obscure kind of like Broadway stuff going on. And that the Vixens team had some of the funnier bits to me as far as like what was written.
I think I'll agree with you. Vixen's team had the better gags for sure.
Yeah.
And when I watched Asia's, there was it was a lot of just junk being thrown up on that screen. It wasn't until Dusty kind of shined that it became in sync. So I don't know if I agree with Asia per se, but I would think in how I feel is that yes, the one who's more poppy and the one with great jokes is always going to land a little harder. So if you had a harder, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing. But it kind of reminds me of like the All Stars 3 where like Thorgy didn't have anything really to work with, being
Yes.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
So that's what it's reminding me of. And I also just think
good
that
point, yeah.
I also just think that like one bad apple can ruin it, like Eureka did because she didn't know some of the words in the lip sync. So
That was very obvious to me, so I knew that she was going to be in trouble because it was so obvious that she was like so off in the lip sync and she was so careful about her movements because she was nervous that I knew for sure that she would be in the bottom. But I
Yeah.
thought
She walked. Alyssa was like, "There's no walking. We are not kidding." How about Alyssa in this episode? It said drag race royalty in her chyron. I was like, and Alyssa. I think in my notes I wrote Alyssa. She starts the first half of her edit, we'll say, being a really good teacher. But let me tell you, and we all know this, that ending was, let me show you, world, that Alyssa is the one. Oh my God, I fell in love with Alyssa all over again.
I do have to say, I love that they're bringing, I love that they brought Alyssa in this episode, and I love that they brought other queens in the first episode. I hope this trend continues.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope season 10 is about giving past queens a chance to do something that they really shine at.
Maybe not BB, but yes. she had a whole season of foolery, so maybe
I can attest to that for sure. But yeah, it was totally cool seeing last episode. Like even like queens like James Mansfield, like who looks beautiful by the way. Like justice for James. Like it was just cool to see them all together from past seasons. You know, just to promote and uplift the newer queens. So.
Yeah, and I love seeing them do something that they shine at. So maybe Bianca comes in and does like a comedy episode. You know, Alyssa is a great dancer, so she came in and did the choreography.
And so many queens are in like West Hollywood and LA based, so it's cool to like bring them by the studio, damn, and you know, keep them relevant.
Did you like the challenge at all? Like, did any of them stick out to you? There was Conflama, which was conflict and drama. See, that other team, I guess this was Vixen, they had all the funny stuff.
Right, that Conflama thing is hilarious.
And they also had the Andy Cohen, you know, the soundbite too, which I was like, it felt very unfair. So maybe Asia's onto something in some way. Did you say you agreed with Asia?
Oh yeah, I completely agree with her.
Because if you have Conflama and then you get to also play with the, I was gonna say a lyric, but I guess a lyric. You get to play with the lyric like the classic Fifi Party City thing.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, even if you mess up, you're gonna be good. I think they also had Swallow Ease. Why you gagging? So she brings it to you every ball. Like it's just such great stuff.
Yeah.
Drag Mouth. I think we saw Caulk, Caulk.
Yeah.
But Asia's didn't have any of that, so she might be right on some levels.
The only thing they had that they could have milked was the old lady thing. Where Aquaria completely bombed that.
She did.
And
I'm glad Michelle told her you should have used your body movement. Like, you know, it wasn't just about a physical thing.
And while I agree with them that that Calorie did kind of blend into the background on that one. I just thought you've had other queens before where you've given them basically, you've handed them a good role and they've completely effed it up and then they've had to go to the bottom. So it seemed weird to me that Aquaria has this moment where she had probably one of the more iconic, like visible roles in that team and didn't do anything with it. And then they were just like, okay, well, you're safe. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
Or maybe that might be teasing her future too, because as beautiful and talented as she is as an artist, I don't think she's a performer Aquaria yet. Maybe now, but
she is really beautiful too.
Yeah.
And that was the thing is her makeup is impeccable and maybe she didn't want to like, I know that's been a problem in the past where queens are like, I don't want to look ugly, but it's like, you have to do that sometimes.
Because you have to be a performer and you have to be a team player in this competition.
Yeah.
Outside, when your Instagram following, you know, sends you across the world, she's on the money for sure.
Yes.
Anyway.
And I do agree with, we actually on this show have had plenty of discussions where you have teams like, sometimes they do, this team is all safe because they won and then this team is not, but then sometimes they pick one from one team being the winner and like some from that same team are on the bottom. And so we're always asking, well, what's the criteria? Do you make the rules where the leader of the winning team wins because they're the leader of the winning team, or do you just pick the most standy outy person, the person who is the most visible and interesting?
Real quickly, I wasn't happy that the Vixen won. I didn't think she sort of deserved it, but
because she wasn't that great of a leader, honestly. I don't think it was like a very
they had that whole choreography thing where they didn't have any.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was a power trip. Yeah,
absolutely.
As Bob Exchange, Monet the drag queen, pointed out, like you're gonna be the one who
Bob Exchange.
I'm gonna keep doing it because that is it for me. But anyways, I wasn't really that into Vixen's choices, but she was saved and she was lucky. Not lucky, she's great drag queen, but I don't think she should have won just because she assembled the great team.
Yeah,
you know? But
I don't know about that. Anyway, so best drag.
Ooh.
The runway was best drag. The first one we have up is Asia. There was a lot of pageanty looks for me, and I'm not. I'm not a pageanty person. I love more campy looks. I love more theatery looks. So this look, even though she is gorgeous and I am definitely like rooting for Asia, I just can't do the pageant.
Oh no, I'm eating it up like a carton of Neapolitan, and I need like a Mimi to be made for that. No, I liked Asia, but again, I think I've had a running like the last couple of weeks. I've been really like opening my eyes to her, so it might be that too. But I wasn't discouraged by this gown at all. I really liked it.
When I think of best drag, I think this is very very Asia, and I think this topic was just very like subjective, because do you want to do something that's your trademark, or do you want to do something that's kind of like beautiful, something very like extravagant? And I think she kind of nailed it with this one because it's both of those. So I loved it personally. And I don't think it's too pageant-y. I think it's kind of like flamenco dancer. I don't know. I really liked it, and I'm not a huge Asia fan, honestly.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Fair enough. So Yua is next. This was also too pageanty for me.
I didn't like this.
Yeah.
That's a
It reminds
3 no's for us.
It reminds me of her promo look, kind of, just a little bit. I didn't think it's just because of the hair, and I don't know. I'm worried for her because I feel like she's a seamstress, but is she like a, I don't know.
She's not a designer. We had Bob
yeah.
Monet Exchange say that.
Yeah. So exactly. I like her a lot. I love her, but I don't like her looks.
You know, sometimes I think queens do really well in this thing because they're really naive, and I mean that in a good way. I mean, she's so confident in herself, and that's great. But you know, it does show that there's been parts of her career probably that she hasn't been educated. Like maybe try something else because she always has a retort. So her naivety may be an issue there. I didn't like that look too much.
So the next one is Dusty. I love this. This is my kind of thing. I do love that she took Michelle's note and toned down her signature look. And again, there was a whole fight online about whether or not she should or she shouldn't. I think just to show what you can do, you should take Michelle's note that like the times that you can, just to say, look, I can do this now. I can go back to doing my thing.
Yeah, she's getting like the Max kind of critique, you know.
Yes.
No gray hair.
Yes.
And that's
but this was like Beetlejuice for me. I just loved this. I loved it.
I loved watching her in Untucked because she felt confident, and that's the whole thing is you want to have the interpretation. So take what the note is, which is don't do your signature, and reapply it in a different way. She's still doing exactly what she's talked about every single thing since the Meet the Queens, that I'm Broadway-esque, showy, but yet with a hint of doom. So by taking that note, she didn't have to do the trademark dots.
Right.
I don't know. This was brilliant, and it was one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. Go ahead, Dusty. Yeah,
Holly?
I like this.
I don't know. I like it, but I kind of want it. I don't know if it's really Dusty. Like, I think her trademark, her best drag is herself, and that's the dots. So I kind of, maybe a couple more dots, but she looked really good. She did.
But what I loved is she did the dot ascot with the contrast of pattern. I thought was cool. And it was very funky. Like I could see her where she's performing and what her audience is. That's what this look did for me. It gave me not only her on stage, but it gave me her audience. And that's big.
I guess it is a nice blend of grunge and glamour, which is kind of what she is known for.
And next is Monique.
I love this.
This outfit was so gag-worthy, complete with the reveal. The only thing that bugged me was we've had other queens in the past have these kind of like eyeball head things, and when you saw it up close, you could see the like irregularity of how it was drawn on, and I was like, girl.
Yeah, that was the only...
Because the outfit was so good. It was so crazy, good, beautiful, well done that it bugged me that like the eyes were not matching up to the level of her outfit.
Yeah, I don't even think it needed a reveal. Like, I love just the simple blue, like Cookie Monster look.
Yeah.
I mean, the reveal's nice, but it totally wasn't necessary. I loved it. It's probably my favorite of the week, honestly. And like, I'm kind of keeping my eye on her because she's not someone I like really like stood out to me in the pack. So I'm really excited to see what Monique's gonna do.
She did have a great outfit last week too. So.
She did. So she has looks. Like I'm like, okay, Monique, I'm watching you. I didn't forget about you.
Monique surprises me because I was all the way for her with the Monique Hart look last week, and I was really into her because I wasn't really sure she was going to bring it, week after week after week. She was one of the queens that I was like, okay, you did it this week, but I don't know that you're going to be consistently like on this level. Now, what I do love about this is she gave me another good one. So this is week number 2, and I'm not really, all the way into Monique, but week 2, she does it again. This gave me like this Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, I'm a rapper, not with an R, but I'm a rapper. And she has beautiful structure in the face. And I mean, I think what we all think is the truth, which is I don't know that we got the reveal. Like, I think that was a disservice for her to...
Oh, but I love the reveal.
It's like the mouth. You see the mouth, but like I didn't go with... I don't see...
I love cheeky boob things. Like when queens do like funny, like real big boobs and then like funny things with their boobs. It just makes me laugh.
You don't think it took a long time to get there? That was my only thing. Like in my head, I imagine because this girl can move. She's got good stage presence. So maybe like a spin around, then drop the I don't know specifically, but I think it could have been done. She did it in a way that she was right to camera, right to the judges, and she did it very parallel to them, and it didn't give me like the illusion that I would have liked.
I can see that.
Just to be better.
So Calories next. Calorie said on her What You Packin' with Michelle that she did have something better than this, but she held back. And so I always think when I see something like this, best drag. Your category is best drag. And yes, it's hard early on to have best drag as a category, but Michelle was like, you should have brought it out, you know, bring out all the stops rather than holding back. And she admitted she held
each
back.
week could be your last, exactly. Yeah. And you know what this reminds me of? This looks like Kimura's entrance look from last season. I think she looks beautiful. Like
This looks like the Sunday after, darling, is what it really looks like.
I think you can't see it in the photo.
Kimura's gonna be mad at you for that one.
You can't see it in the photo, but she's wearing like pumps, and I wish she would have worn like some kind of pop of color, like boots or something to like elevate it. Like she just totally played it safe, and it's kind of sad. And there was a lot of jumpsuits this week, which was disappointing.
That doesn't particularly bother me. I've grown.
Person.
No, this is best drag. Like go all out, and so some of these were really underwhelming. No one looked bad.
No,
but like I was just disappointed because it's best drag.
Yeah, you're right. It's like they're not using the actual category as. You know, we talked about, like, you know, she came in and she starts to look like she works at the Cerritos Mall at the Macy's counter concession type girl thing. And this is like Sunday morning after she got some good D the night before. The hair cocked in all different ways. It just really was a bit of a challenge. With that said, I really have grown to like her. I think she has a great disposition about herself. Loved every interview and every interaction with the queens. I don't think she's strong enough to come back to an All-Stars, but I definitely feel like she's strong enough to get this new coin going and, you know, live in this new world where you're not just the big thing in New Mexico. So I do like her, but this was really not the look for her, no.
So next is Eureka, and Eureka had this bodysuit that when you ran your hands over it, it changed color, which I thought was interesting. But again, I had that same feeling I had with Calorie, which Eureka, I have seen her do some amazing outfits. So I was expecting something like just blow my mind crazy, and that wasn't really this. Her
elephant look for the reunion, or the finale, I wanted something like that. So I totally agree with you. And this kind of looks, it's on a jumpsuit. I like the idea of it changing, but I also thought it was just kind of like underwhelming, like I said earlier.
I wish she would have chose to do something more regal. I get the concept maybe of the cat suit, you know, in the sense of like, you know, there's a lot of nude illusion, but that what do you call it, the difference in the texture of the material, it didn't, and she said it and she was really into it. It didn't look good though, like physically it didn't look good, aesthetically it didn't look good. So I love the hair. I'll give her, that's my favorite part of the whole outfit, but really the rest was a miss for me.
It does look really good from far away, I'll say. Like it looks really good, not up close.
Well, next is Aquaria. The only thing I have to say about Aquaria is I loved it, except for the little ear head green fuzz balls. Editing, that's the only comment from me. Other than that, it was a great look.
I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Why?
I don't know. It's really hard for me personally just to get behind Aquaria. I don't know. It doesn't please my eyes. Something about it. I don't know if it's the boy chest. I don't.
Maybe you don't like green like Michelle.
I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's so funny you say that, because I have my issues with Aquaria. I think Mark made a great point that Aquaria in her sides, she ends up doing a lot of like cliche sound bites. You know, Aquaria gets very much a handful. We get annoyed by her sometimes, like her, right? But damn it, man, I was into this all the way, 2,000%. And maybe in the same way that I like Monique's look sometimes. I'm not an Aquaria fan per se. So when Aquaria comes with this mess, and mess meaning amazing, I loved it. I was okay with the boy chest. I was okay with the green. I was okay with just the modern and fashion to the gods. I loved a lot of it.
I do have a problem with Aquaria's asides, though, because I feel like the asides are contrived, but then you see her talking with the other queens and you see her in Untucked, and she seems more natural. So it's just weird to me, because I feel like she's trying to like use the asides to brand herself, but then she has a different, like more warmer personality with the other queens.
You saw how socially awkward she was in the workroom entrance. She was made a stupid smile and she just wasn't there. But yet the sides, she's got all the confidence in the world when it's just a camera. I agree with that completely.
So next is Vixen. That is not. There we go. I love this look, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't love it.
I loved it.
I don't even know I get it. Doesn't it look crafty? Like, is this design on a dime? First of all, and second of all,
it looks expensive.
Oh, but I also, the second thing that I thought was that it looks very like best. Well, this is your best drag, and it was a weird interpretation to say I'm fire. So back to the branding issue. It was like she put branding and her wild vixen side versus like she should have been very elegant. It was more what I would have liked to see, especially because she has a stronger structure in the face a lot of times. I would have liked to see that contrast.
It wasn't bad. The only thing I'll say is that I feel like I wanted more vixen. I feel like her aesthetic is more of like the political art. I wanted something kind of like to had a message with her look, and we didn't get that. But it was okay.
That's a
so
question.
Next is Miss Cracker. Let's have the queens match the person we're talking about. So she had this great look. I loved it. It was very avant-garde. Quick thoughts.
Effing loved every ounce of it, from the presentation to the nails to the win. Best of the night for me.
I loved it.
So mayhem. So we all love
No.
Miss Cracker.
No,
Wait,
no.
I just want to know why you said no, because I actually love this.
That's best drag? Like, no. Like her entrance looked better than this. This looks very cheap and very like basic to me. And
I don't agree. We don't have much time, so I
don't like
won't
it.
fully. But I wasn't my favorite of the night, but I liked it.
Very Academy Awards.
Come on, Doris Day. Yeah, and she did it. She did that thing. Yeah.
So next is Blair.
Beautiful.
This was my favorite look of the night. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh.
Favorite look of the night. I was so gagged. Absolutely gorgeous, giving me a 1920s elegance.
All I say is it looks a little bit too big on her, but it's beautiful. That's all. Like, I love Blair.
I was gonna say
love
the
Blair.
waist. She's got a little waist. The waist didn't really match, but I do love everything else. Yeah.
So Cameron,
Oh my god.
loved it.
Beautiful.
Loved it.
She's surprising me, and
It's just like,
I hope she.
I don't know what else to say.
I've been pretty up on Cameron a lot of the times. My only issue here is I don't like the makeup and the hair and the hodgepodge of the butterflies. All of these colors didn't really go together. It was like different versions of
It's a
pink.
rainbow. That's a rainbow.
Butterfly rainbow.
Watch it in Untucked. It just looked like it could have been better. Is all I'm saying. And I love Cameron, but I was like, it was like cotton candy mixed together and half-eaten cotton candy mixed. So just something different.
Well, I'm here for cotton candy. Next is Monet. And that's not your best drag, girl. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
That is not your best drag.
Excuse me, don't talk about my Bob Exchange and Monet the Drag Queen like that. I loved every ounce and second of this
Why?
because it's the body did it for me. I thought it was regal enough for me. Yes, I thought the hair choice was just pounce me with those eyes because I can. It was great Monet Exchange. I don't understand how this could not. I loved it a lot. That's what's funny. Like I was really into it. Yeah.
That is Nene Leakes. That's all I'll say.
How dare you?
So we're going to have a special segment next week called Mirror Moment, where we really discuss one of the queens' mirror moments. Essentially, where they have a special like topic or moment that they really thought about. We have to cut it for time today. I just want to give a few fan shout outs. Chris Bangus, Aries, Pink Starlight, Brooklyn Jane, Nick RH, Dawn Girl, Novellas Commentatus, and Ian Hudson. Thanks you guys for commenting on our video. We really appreciate it. And now we have some news and gossip.
Yes, Miss Mayhem Miller has been cast in a pageant material. So congratulations to her. She's going to be, the movie's about a teenager in rural Alabama, sets out to win an Atlanta drag pageant. So half the profits of the film are going to be benefit the Drew Project, an LGBT educational support organization that assists in the development of gay straight alliance programs in schools.
There you go. Good
And
for
also,
them.
yesterday was Trans Visibility Day, so we have
Right.
to give a shout out to our trans
Yes.
queens from previous seasons: Jinx,
Peppermint.
Kenya Michaels, Gia Gunn, Stacey Lane Matthews, Sonique,
Carmen Carrera.
yes, and Monica. shout out to
Beverly
them.
Hills. Yeah.
Yes, so
And
congratulations.
Also, not really news, but Blair St. Clair from this season, she recently opened up on Cosmo about her sobriety and how, and I just think that's this is a good platform because you don't have to always party, and it's shows a lot about escapism, and I think Blair you know, I just think she's awesome. So like, I love me some Blaine St. Clair.
Yeah, and that's good because that'll be a mirror moment. And you know, being a drag queen doesn't always have to be that raw. Sometimes it could be something that you had in your personal life, like alcoholism, and how you use drag to filter that out, just like Calorie with the weight issue. You know,
Yes.
I love that. That's what drag should be about.
Yes,
for sure.
It should be about bringing you. I mean, not only bringing art to the world, but about for Calorie, she said it brought her confidence, and even though she was like heartbroken when she was leaving the show, I do think that hopefully she gains some sort of confidence from people appreciating her performance on the show.
And I think she's going to learn a lot because she actually tweeted the other day that she's been learning because she's been listening to this podcast called Conversations with Maria Menounos. And so she's been really stepping her game up. She doesn't even work at Macy's anymore. Yeah, she's no longer counter concessions girl. So things are happening for Calorie. Yes, baby, yes.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh,
But
that's more the gossip of the news and gossip. We got to wrap, but that's.
well, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week. I am 123 Jackie B on all platforms. Ollie, where can they find
Hey
you?
guys, I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And we miss Marky, and we miss Jay, and all of our extended family. I am Ronnie Junior. My social media is at randomlyrj. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Drag you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.